By the end of July, beginning of August, we will have the military change of disposition on the south and on the east. We might consider negotiations afterwards, and probably this will not be a long scenario. But if not, we might have a longer scenario. It's quite evident that Russia failed to accomplish its goals. So the question now is, what shall we do together? First, Putin thinks that our discussions and our attempts to have negotiations is a weakness. It's a false perception to think that the resolution of war might happen on the coast of my country.
By your perspective, when will this war end?
Well, of course, we want to end the war as soon as possible. But unfortunately, it is Russia not willing to discuss any negotiation because they want, as they said, to kill us and to destroy us. And so the only logic here is to have successes on the battlefield. The Land-Lease law that was performed by the United States is a super important factor that might influence the change of military disposition. And if by the end of July, beginning of August, we will have the military change of disposition on the south and on the east, we might consider negotiations afterwards, and probably this will not be a long scenario. But if not, we might have a longer scenario when the conflict would be kind of frozen in that way that for years we might have this.
Do you have this?
So we need weapons, weapons and weapons. We need sanctions. Also have to perform full embargo for oil and gas and fossil fuels. And the third pillar in this formula of our success, our common success, is the EU candidacy for my country, is the EU membership for Ukraine.
L'Italia ha presentato un piano di pace su 4 punti che prevede tra l'altro l'autonomia di alcune zone, le zone russofone dell'Ucraina e una sorta di neutralità del paese. Qual è la vostra valutazione di questo piano?
First, it was not officially passed to Ukrainian side. It's a non-paper that is being discussed both in Italy and Ukraine. As far as we welcome any diplomatic effort that wants to help Ukraine to resolve the war, but let me be very clear about several sacred things, I would say. Territorial integrity and sovereignty of any country is not a subject of negotiation. And our people are not ready to step back when it comes to the future of my country, when it comes to Crimea and Donbass. Any plan that suggests new divisive lines is not a reliable plan. And the most important for us are the guarantees of our security, because we already had guarantees in 1994 with the Budapest Memorandum. Russia was among those countries to guarantee our security, and they stabbed us in our back.
Do you have the sensation that you are losing support from the Western countries? Someone thinks, even here in Italy, that the aim of the war can't be to defeat Russia, but we have to find a diplomatic.
When we speak about any country, it's about people in this country, different stakeholders. And of course we understand that countries might be polarized and we might have different interests behind decisions. So what we see so far is a huge solidarity with my country on the official level. We have several countries skeptical about, for example, the European future of my country, and we are doing our best to actually explain the cause and the case of my country. But we also understand that those suggestions that might come from countries or the groups of interested people that suggest us to consider the peace and the resolution of war on the coast of Ukraine are the failed scenarios. Because, and it's very frank, any country, whatever country it is, if it's not with territorial integrity, it's a failed country.
L'export di grano e cereali dall'Ucraina, che al momento è in gran parte bloccato anche per l'inagibilità dei porti, c'è grossa preoccupazione per le conseguenze che questo può avere. Ci sono delle vie anche alternative per sbloccare l'export.
We've been discussing with several states, including the Secretary General of the United Nations, the food security issue. And he suggested his good offices in helping us to guarantee the food security by looking into the passage at the Black Sea. This would be the perfect way, actually, to export the grain by sea, because the railway and the land, the existing logistics is not enough. So with the Black Sea, the most tricky is that if the passage will be performed, and we want it to be performed, two necessary things have to be there. The first is the convoy, the international convoy, and the vessels that would help to bring the grain and protect the grain and to guarantee the security of the grain. And second, insurance, because if we are speaking about private companies to deliver the grain, so the conditions of insurance might be that high that any private company would allow to export the grain.